A girl named Alice got tired of walking all day without doing anything. The heat made her sleepy. Suddenly she noticed the white rabbit, who was in a hurry somewhere. It seemed strange to the girl that he was talking to himself and kept looking at his watch. Burning with curiosity, Alice rushed after the rabbit, and without hesitation jumped after him into the hole. Inside was a deep well, the walls of which were lined with bookcases. Alice fell very slowly and managed to see everything properly. Once at the bottom of the well, the girl noticed a glass table with 3 legs. On it lay a small golden key and some kind of bottle. Alice tried to open the door with the key, but it was too small. Looking around, she saw a small door. To open it and find herself in a magnificent garden, Alice had to drink from a bottle from the table. After taking a couple of sips, she began to decrease in size. The girl shrank so quickly that she did not have time to take the key from the table. Then she saw a magic pie on the floor. As soon as Alice took a bite, she began to grow rapidly upward. The girl grew so much that she could not go through the cherished door again. Alice began to cry so much that soon a huge puddle formed near her. At that moment she noticed the white rabbit. The girl called him, but he was in a hurry, and in fright dropped his gloves and fan. Alice picked them up and noticed how she began to shrink. The reason was a magic fan. Alice fell into a pool of her own tears. When she was thrown ashore, the girl again noticed the rabbit. He confused Alice with his maid, and ordered to immediately go home for new gloves and a fan. The girl ran to carry out the order. In the rabbit's house, she could not resist curiosity, and drank some liquid from a bottle. This led to the fact that Alice grew to gigantic proportions, and quickly filled the whole house. She was able to shrink only thanks to the pies. Having regained her previous dimensions, the girl ran away. Soon she saw a huge mushroom on which a large blue caterpillar was sitting. Alice complained to her about her constant changes in height. The caterpillar advised the girl to eat a piece of mushroom. Alice ate a small bite and finally returned to her normal height. And she went on. Suddenly, Alice saw a house. Going inside, the girl was in the kitchen, in which she saw the Duchess with a crying baby in her arms. A huge cat was sitting on the floor, smiling from ear to ear. The Duchess explained to Alice that he was smiling because it was a Cheshire cat. Suddenly the cat disappeared and the baby burst into tears. The Duchess gave the child to Alice, and she herself went to the Queen. The girl was surprised to find that she was not holding a child, but a real little pig. When the cat reappeared, he advised Alice to find the March hare. And then he disappeared, and only his smile remained in the air. The girl hit the road. Soon she saw the house of the March hare. Alice came just in time for the beginning of the tea party. The table was huge, but only the March hare, the Mad Hatter and Sonia the mouse were sitting at it. They would not let anyone sit at the table, and said that there was no room. Alice learned that they were forced to drink tea incessantly as punishment for killing time. The hare and the hatter mocked the girl in every possible way and ridiculed her. Unable to tolerate such rudeness, she silently got up and left. Soon Alice found herself in a wonderful garden. She noticed gardeners who looked like playing cards. They dyed white roses red. The girl was very surprised at this. She learned that their queen loved red roses, and only white ones grew. The queen executed her servants for the slightest offense. The gardeners said she was judging the servant who stole the cookies right now. Alice was very interested, and she went to court. There she saw the March hare and the Mad Hatter testifying. When they finished, the queen suddenly summoned Alice for questioning. The girl replied that she knew nothing and ordered to let the servant go. The queen got angry and ordered to grab the girl. At that moment, Alice felt that she began to grow again. The girl realized that these were just cards, and she was not afraid of them. And at that very moment, the magic disappeared. Alice woke up in the same clearing where she first saw the white rabbit. There was a familiar landscape around, familiar sounds were heard. So it was only a dream, thought Alice. A long time ago, poor man Ali Baba lived with his wife Zainab in a distant eastern country. He made his living by hard work. He chopped wood in the forest and sold it in the market. Once, while working, Ali Baba noticed that a whole detachment of horsemen was galloping towards him. Out of fear, he climbed a tree and hid in the foliage. The riders stopped under a tree and removed the sacks full of gold from the horses. There were exactly 40 of them, led by the one-eyed chieftain Hassan. Ali Baba immediately guessed that these were robbers who had returned with their prey. While Ali Baba was trembling with horror, the chieftain approached a rock nearby and whispered an incantation. Suddenly an inconspicuous iron door overgrown with grass opened in the rock.
Cool!
The robbers entered the cave, hid all the stolen gold there, took the empty bags and rode back into the forest. After making sure that there were no robbers, Ali Baba descended from the tree.
Cool!
He went to the secret door and whispered the spell he had heard from the chieftain. The door flew open.
Okay.
Ali Baba saw a huge cave full of gold, silver, expensive fabrics and diamonds. Ali Baba looked around, quickly grabbed 2 bags of gold, loaded them onto the donkey and rushed home. Returning to his wife, Ali Baba showed her the sacks of gold. Delighted with wealth, they began to count coins. But the couple did not succeed because there were too many coins. The money should have been measured with a special cup, but poor Ali Baba did not have it. Then Zainab decided to take the cup from Ali Baba's rich brother Qasim. Qasim himself was burning with curiosity. He could not understand why the beggar Ali Baba needed a measuring cup for gold. Therefore, he smeared the bottom of the bowl with honey to find out exactly what the spouses would measure. When Ali Baba returned the bowl, Qasim noticed that gold coins had stuck to the honey at the bottom. He realized that Ali Baba was hiding wealth from him. Then Qasim came to his brother and threatened to inform the king about him if Ali Baba did not tell the whole truth. The frightened Ali Baba told Qasim about the robbers, the cave and even about the spell that opens the secret door. In the morning Qasim took 10 donkeys and headed to the cave. After casting a spell, he went inside. The untold wealth of the cash turned Qasim's head. He danced for a long time among gold and precious stones, stuffing his bags with coins. Suddenly the sound of hooves was heard outside the door. The robbers have returned. Qasim tried to hide behind sacks of gold, but the robbers found, tied up and kidnapped him. The one-eyed chieftain immediately realized that Qasim was not the only one who knew about the cash in the cave. Then the robber went to the city and learned that a certain Ali Baba had previously been a poor man and now suddenly became rich.
Cool!
Adam followed Ali Baba home and marked his door with a black cross to come at night and take revenge. By evening, Ali Baba's wife went out into the garden to water the donkeys. She saw the cross and immediately realized that this sign was not good. Then she painted the same crosses on all the neighboring houses. At night, the robbers returned and saw that all the doors were marked with a black cross.
No!
They could not find Ali Baba's house. Their plan failed. The next day, the chieftain hung 40 large jugs on the donkeys, hid the robbers in them, and set off for the city.
Nice.
At the bazaar, he pretended to sell butter, and he himself again tracked down Ali Baba.
Yeah!
When it got dark, the chieftain knocked on the house of Ali Baba. The robber asked to spend the night, and in return offered to present 40 large jugs of oil. And Ali Baba agreed. He cordially received the chieftain, and even allowed to drive the donkeys into the yard. While preparing dinner for a guest, Ali Baba's wife noticed that they had just run out of butter. Then she went out into the courtyard to pick up the oil that their guest had brought. But suddenly in the jugs there was a rustle and whisper of robbers. Then Zainab ran to the kitchen, grabbed a cup of boiling water and poured it on one of the robbers. He got scared, screamed, jumped out of the jug and ran towards the mountains. The whole detachment rushed after him in fright. Realizing that he too would soon be uncovered, the chieftain ran out of the house and disappeared without a trace. And Ali Baba and his wife lived happily ever after. And the robbers never returned.